So you are here because you got played. Just kidding. Am I though? After that brutal intro, welcome to everyone who's still here and actually wants to hear the truth about 5 steps how you can easily get over your ungrateful AF situationship, because the fact that you would have done anything for them and they didn't appreciate it, tragic. And that brings us to step number 1, acknowledge it for what it truly was, a situationship, especially an ungrateful one. Maybe it's even still lingering in your life because there was never a clean break. Situationships are marked by ungratefulness. They thrive on ambiguity because it wouldn't be a situationship if it wasn't for the constant overthinking, the constant pain and agony of not knowing where you stand with another person. Whether you are getting over a situationship or you are in the works of ending one because you know that if you don't end it, they never will because they thrive on this ambiguity, you have to first give yourself the gift of clarity. That's a gift that you give to yourself, not to them. And the gift of clarity is a gift of honesty because you're being real with yourself. You're being real with yourself about the fact that if they appreciated you to the degree that they really should to even be allowed to breathe the same air as you, they would not be in a situationship with you. You would have already walked down the altar. You would be getting reassuring texts every single day. They would be calling you up, asking you how you're doing, rather than leaving you feeling stranded and unappreciated. But you are taking your power back. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're receiving this message. And that is to empower you to know that once you give yourself clarity over what it was, nobody can stop you from there on out. You're back to your old self. You're back to the self that knows their worth and knows their personal power. Be so real with yourself, even if it hurts, about the fact that you just were not the one for them. You were just not the one for them, and the situationship was not enough. And I know it can be so painful because even when you're hearing the words not enough, I know who you're thinking about. You're thinking about yourself. You're thinking about yourself in the context of, I wasn't enough. Maybe I wasn't pretty enough for them. Maybe I wasn't smart enough for them. Maybe I wasn't accomplished enough for them. Maybe I just wasn't enough, period. And if you allow that to linger within your mind, it will eat you alive trying to understand why you weren't enough. And you deserve better than that. But the only person who can give yourself this clarity, the only person, the only individual who can acknowledge this ungrateful situation for what it was and then empower yourself, validate yourself to move on from it is you. Without you being so real about the fact that the situationship doesn't have anything to do with you not being enough, instead of asking yourself why they didn't like you enough, ask yourself, did you even like them? It would have never been enough for you. Did you like the way that they treated you? Did you like the lack of clarity, the lack of communication, the lack of care, the lack of commitment, the lack of caring about how it made you feel and how it affected you at your work, your self-confidence, the plans that you made or ended up canceling with friends because in hopes of still seeing them, you wanted to keep your calendar open. The sleepless nights, the disappointed mornings when you woke up to not find a single text from them, not a call, nothing. And let me tell you something, any relationship with another human being that leaves you feeling undervalued, that leaves you feeling diminished, that leaves you feeling smaller is not worth your time and was never meant to be yours. Let them move on to make someone else feel small. But your mother's child is not going to be made to feel as though they are nothing. Which brings us to point number 2, reclaiming your energy. In order to get over an ungrateful situationship, you have to reclaim your energy and bring your energy back to you, because chances are you have been thinking so much about what they're doing, you have been overthinking their thoughts about you, you have been overthinking everything about this dynamic that you have not been pouring into yourself. You have not been going to the yoga class, you have not been doing your skincare, you have not been booking the trips and the flights and going for the job opportunities because you were afraid that if the thing did turn around, if the situationship did turn into something real, you wouldn't be able to take the opportunity. So you watered down your opportunities. You took away the possibilities in your life. You took energy away from your dreams, your aspirations, in order to be ready for when the relationship would finally happen, which never happened. And I want you to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that that actually says a lot about what type of caring, loving person that you are, and you deserve better. But what I want you to never ever do again, and you have to sometimes learn this lesson the hard way, is to pour all of your energy into another human being or into a relationship. I don't care if it's a friendship, I don't care if it's a relationship with your parents. I do not care whether it is your husband or your boyfriend or a situationship. Never pour all of your energy into another human being, even if it's your child, because you will be the best version of you when you are taken care of, when you pour into yourself. Otherwise, guess what's going to start to happen? You're going to start to become resentful. How do resentful people behave? They make backhanded comments. They're not fully there or committed. They're overworked. They're burnt out. They are completely depleted. Is that the type of parent, spouse, partner, or friend that you want to be? Do you really think that you deserve to be sucked dry of your own life force and energy? I think not, babe. So make sure that you're pouring back into yourself, because chances are you're here right now. You need a little bit of healing. You need a little bit of TLC, okay? The situationship kind of sucked you dry a little bit, and it's showing, okay? It's showing on your pretty face and perhaps on your cortisol-filled body. If you're feeling a little puffy, it's time for you to get back into those 10,000 steps per day. It's time for you to join my Soulmate Guarantee community below, where every single day I'm hanging out with you, I'm supporting you. We are a group of high-value, like-minded women who are not going to settle for less, who are pouring back into themselves, a community. Make sure that you go back to your gym. Make sure that you do the meal plan that you know is healthiest for you. Your evening routine, reading, getting up in the morning, going to the Pilates, making sure that you are doing the things that light you up. Get your spark back. Because one of the hallmarks of a situationship that was draining and that was unnecessary is that you are feeling like you have no energy left, and that is already a sign, babe. That is already a sign that they were not for you. Block them, delete them, remove them from your social media. I know it's hard, but it's the easiest way to rip off the Band-Aid and start the true healing process. You have to also protect your energy. It's not just about reclaiming your energy, because after all, when you're on your 10,000 steps walk every single day, but you're checking their status every second, you've archived them, but you're checking your archive to see if they did text you or did call you. You're checking their Instagram stories to see what they're doing, if they're oh so grieving, if they've realized that they've lost the best thing that could have ever happened to them, which was you. A loyal, caring individual that actually liked them for them, even though the only thing that made them special was the attention that you gave them. But that is another topic that I'm not going to get into right now. However, the truth of the matter is you have to truly detach in order to become free again. And the only way that you can detach is by having the courage to sever those ties with the intent of taking back your personal power and your energy. Step 3 of your survival guide to getting over a situationship is to validate yourself. You cannot wait for an external factor such as this ungrateful individual to come and validate you in order for you to finally feel good about yourself again. That's why you're here, right? Because they have not been validating your existence. Honestly, they probably don't even realize how much damage this situationship has caused and how much healing this is going to take, how your therapy bill actually going to go through the roof potentially because of this. And rather than getting upset, I want you to take that energy and repurpose it by validating your feelings. First and foremost, write it down. Journal about the fact that you were ready to give them all of this. You were ready to give them care, love, attention, to be loyal to them. You were ready to say no to going on that solo vacation with your girlfriends. You were ready to not go to those pottery classes because you wanted to spend time with them. You were ready to trade in your dreams and aspirations professionally to support them. You would have moved anywhere in this world with them for them to realize their dreams. And you know what? I'm glad it didn't happen because they don't deserve all of that. But you have to write it down and be so clear on the fact that all of these, when you write down and actually see before you all of these things you would have given to be with someone, you would have shown as a proof of care and love, and then look at it and actually put some respect on your name, girl. Put some respect on the fact that it takes ovaries to do this. It takes a strong and super caring person to do so. It takes someone who actually wants to make a relationship worth, and to understand that is so insanely valuable. Validate yourself. Validate the fact that you have all of these positive characteristics. Write them down. You are caring. You are ready for commitment. You self-reflect. You have talents and ways about you that are 1 in a billion. And for you to want to waste that on an ungrateful person? No. Not on my watch. And by validating yourself, I also want you, at the same time as you're writing down these lists, you're making these lists, feel free to even comment below, validating yourself publicly. Literally comment all of the positive traits and characteristics publicly. I want to see this comment section on fire with you validating yourself. And then once you have publicly done that, once you have actually acknowledged how you don't just bring things to the table, you are the entire table. All right, once you've done that, get off the floor. Okay, you're not a doormat, and you're not going to give up your entire existence and your entire life ever again in an attempt to be someone that is eternally giving, to be somebody who would do anything for another person. You are meant to be caring, of course, but you are not meant to give to the degree that you are depleting yourself. You are not meant to pour out of an empty cup. Remember that. That is an important recipe for success for any of your upcoming relationships. Validate your feelings. Validate the fact that what they did was absolutely not okay. How they treated you and the fact that they had no regard for your feelings or the ways in which you showed up for them, and they did not return, they did not want to reciprocate, that is not cool, and it's not okay, especially if they're leaving you in the dark and they're not even telling you why they're not reciprocating. They're not even telling you that they're never planning on reciprocating. Hell, that is the benchmark of a situationship. The fact that they future fake, they future promise things that are never gonna happen, and the stuff that they know you're daydreaming about happening, they just never mention it. They just simply fail to mention that, actually, they were never even planning on being in a relationship with you. Actually, they were never planning on taking this to the next level. Actually, they were never planning on cutting off the 5 other side chicks that they were talking to. And it's so funny how we live in a day and age where apparently, allegedly, everybody is single, but everybody is talking to 10 different people at the same time. Make it make sense. And you have to validate the fact that that's not cool, it's not okay, especially if you are a loyal person. Your feelings are so valid. And this is the perfect spot for us to segue over into step 4, which is extremely important on your healing journey. And that is the fact that you have to let go of the need for closure. Because someone who did not respect you enough to either give you the clarity over the fact that this was always just a situationship to them, or they never respected you enough to tell you the truth about the fact that they don't value you to the degree that you valued them, that type of person is probably, most likely, not going to give you closure at all, or they're not going to give you the type of closure that you deserve and that you can actually heal from. Now, are we going to allow that to impede, to stop, to prohibit your healing and your moving on and you're living your best life and actually finding your soulmate? No, we are not. No, we are absolutely not. We are going to give ourselves closure. We are going to lean into transformation. All you need is a little bit of direction. All you need is a little bit of support. Right now, you might feel like your life is in shambles. You might feel like you're never going to meet someone like them again, which I can tell you is false, okay? We've been down this route a couple times, and I know the first couple days or when you initially block them, it feels like it's just a lot mentally. It feels like your world is crumbling and crashing down. But trust me, your world is not crumbling or crashing down for one person's ungrateful son or daughter. Actually, this is the beginning of your transformation and your healing and your wisdom. If you want direction, if you want support, as already mentioned, join my soulmate guarantee circle. I'm in there every single day. It's for all of us singles who want to stay in a mindset of taking care of our needs and never settling for less ever again. And I want to remind you that transformation finally takes place when you allow transformation to take place. If you keep going back to replaying the ways in which you could have acted differently and maybe they would still be here, you will not be able to transform. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you should just heal and sit in bed with a hot water bottle and eat all of the snacks in the world. But I actually urge you to do something completely different. And this is my approach to everything in life and to business, as of recently especially, because I have noticed this self-pity party. It doesn't do anything. It just makes you feel worse about yourself. Yesterday, for example, I was having the worst day, but I still went through waking up in the morning, going on my walking pad, reading. I put on a face mask even though I felt like an ugly, bloated puffer fish, and I did not want to. I still went outside to get some fresh air, some vitamin D, and those 15,000 steps, and I still filmed a video for YouTube and planned the live event that I was putting on for all of my members. And the thing is, I still followed through, and I felt way better doing that, even though at the time I felt like ish. And I was thinking about a particular person the entire time, and literally just receiving a text from them would have made my entire day, which obviously didn't happen, but I wasn't going to let that affect me, because one thing about me is that you are not going to see me stopping, no matter what you did. And trust me, I have been through some breakups that you would not believe. I'm talking Netflix-worthy stuff that was done to me. You could make a 5-part documentary out of the insane lies that were told and truths that actually were unraveled afterwards. So don't think that I have just had perfect relationships and situations. I am right here with you, but I need to tell you that if you're feeling really down and out, especially about a situationship, and that has hurt you a lot more than the breakup of a relationship, it makes sense. Because a relationship, there was clarity, there was certainty. When you break up, you know what's up. The most painful thing about a situationship is that you don't know what's up, and you never know when you're ever gonna know what's up. Nobody is telling you what's up, and you have this hope that one day you will know what's up, whether it's that this is a relationship or you're single, but you have no control over that day, and when that day never comes, every single day is suffering. Every single day, you are living in a state of waiting instead of actually focusing on your career. I've been in long-term relationships, I've been in short-term situationships, and I can tell you the best thing to do is to wake up in the morning and focus on your goals. Because your goals, your career, your friends and family who have truly proven to be real ones, they're never going to get up one morning and not be there for you, or tell you that they don't love you anymore, or tell you that you gained 5 pounds, so they're not attracted to you anymore. That is not going to happen. So you have to go through this transformation, and I highly recommend you go down the route of going hard on the things that you desire, because 2 things will happen when you do this. For one, you are going to stop not even allowing victim mode and victim mentality to take a hold of you. It's not happening. We're not permitting it. Who is she? Because you're not going to be cooped up in bed, unshowered since 3 days, eating the 3rd tub of Ben & Jerry's that you know you're going to feel badly about for the next 3 weeks, because you literally haven't moved your body, you haven't taken care of yourself, you haven't seen the light of the day, and you are not talking to your friends or family. That is not going to make you feel good. So we are immediately eliminating that. And what we're also eliminating is the fact that they are stopping you from accomplishing your dreams. We are also eliminating that they are going to see that what they have done has actually affected you. We're not going to allow that, babes. And I don't care if anyone says that this is toxic, let it be toxic. Who do you think is better off after a situationship ending? The person who wallows in self-pity and does the whole, oh, I just need time to get over this, and lie in bed and feel sorry for myself. Or the person who goes after their dreams and allows this to be the glow up and allows this to be a lesson, for the situationship to be the exact lesson that you needed to remember to never fall off track with taking care of yourself, to remember to never fall off track chasing your dreams, going after what you desire, because that is something you will never regret. And whoever enters your life from here on out, make sure that they add to your life. Make sure that you have enough self-respect and you remember, Auntie Vanessa told you. If they're not adding to your life, if they're not making your life easier, better, and more pleasant, if they don't respect you enough to give you the clarity that you desire and you deserve, they don't belong in the same room as you. They shouldn't even have your number. They shouldn't even be getting any attention from you, not a reply, not a reaction, nothing. Because you, my gorgeous soul, are worth far too much to allow that to be your fate. And that brings me to the 5th and final point of this journey of overcoming any situationship breakup, no matter how bad, and that is choosing higher forms of love. And I'm not just talking about romantic love. Allow for me to explain it. This is extremely important for you to learn, because once you learn this, your life will never be the same. Your love life will never be the same. What I mean by higher forms of love is understanding that love is all around you. Your friendships can give you an abundance of love that a romantic relationship never could. All of you who are parents, you can say with confidence the love that you have and receive from your child is so different than what you will ever receive from a romantic partner. That doesn't mean one is worth more than the other. That doesn't mean one is better than the other. But what it means is that even you investing in finally getting your book printed and published, you investing in finally joining that community that you've always wanted to join, the walking community, the hiking community, you've joined my soulmate guarantee, you've joined a Pilates group, you've joined a writer's group, you're joining an entrepreneur circle, whatever it is that you want to invest in, that is you investing in different forms of love, because what you're being open to is new connections that are actually connecting on the same level with you, where you're actually not feeling as though you are the one who's constantly pouring and giving, and you have to hope and pray and be so grateful if anything ever comes back to you. We have closed and ended that chapter in your life. There's a reason why you're still here and you are still listening to my voice, and that is because you know there are other, better, higher forms of love out here for you right now. And at this very moment, all you may want is your situationship back. All you may want is for them to be in your life, even if it's in a painful way, rather than them not being in your life at all. Trust me, I know the feeling. That's why I'm even able to describe it. But I promise you that the faster you let go of this type of self-deprecating love, because that's what it is, okay? It's harming your self-esteem, it's harming your self-worth, because what you're signaling to the universe, what you're manifesting, is more disrespect. You are manifesting more of what you don't desire because you are allowing it to continue. And at the beginning, it will feel weird to cut them off and to be all by yourself. It will feel weird to basically be starting from zero and to not have anything. No validation, even if the validation that they gave you was a little crumb. Even if they breadcrumbed you all the way through, a crumb sometimes feels better than nothing. But I urge you to go on a fast. I urge you to go on a full fast of any energy vampires, of anybody who tries to even imply a situationship, unless that's what you want. But if you're watching this video, that is not what you want. You want clarity. You want a calm nervous system. You want to live your soft life. You do not want the stress of a situationship. So in the meantime, find other ways of higher love that fulfill you in order to remain in your power and in order to keep building up your value. Because trust me, you get to a point where you look back on what you used to accept and you think to yourself, who was she? I would never accept this right now. Vanessa filming this video right now, I was just talking to my best friend about this yesterday. And she was like, you remember a year ago when you were talking to this guy? Remember a year ago when this guy planned this date and the date was really far away. So he booked a hotel room. It was a very big hotel room. And I said he should book his own room. Obviously, I didn't want to sleep in the same room as him. And he ended up sleeping on the couch and basically disrespecting my wishes, because I would not have met up with him again if I knew that we would basically be in the same room, even though he was in a different room on the couch, nowhere near the bed I was sleeping in. But she was like, oh my God, remember this? Remember you actually believed him when he said that there was no room available in the hotel, and that was like the reason why he slept in the couch on that room. You actually believed this guy. And you know, there's something beautiful and sweet and cute about being naive, because there's this saying that I love, and it goes, to the pure, all things are pure. But at the same time, it gets to a point where you've been through so much ish and where things have happened that you would never accept that again, and you would literally just pack your bags and go and just be like, this is the boundary that I set. If you can't even respect this simple boundary, because honestly anything could happen at night, and if something were to happen to me, that is a boundary I tried to set, but you didn't want to respect it, so that would be on me. So if you truly value yourself, you're not even going to put yourself in a situation where you're allowing that just because someone else is trying to force you in it. The truth of the matter is nobody can force you to do anything in this life. Remember that. If there's one thing you take from this situationship breakup video, is that I want you to remember nobody can make you do anything. Nobody can force you to continue to accept disrespect. Nobody can force you into a situationship. And that means that you have the power to take yourself out of it. Just as you may have put yourself in it, and I don't want you to beat yourself up about that, because that's not going to help anyone. Because again, to the pure, all things is pure. A lot of you were led into situationships because of the future faking, because you have dealt with narcissists, toxic people, straight up manipulators and liars. So I'm not faulting you for that. Just because you choose to believe in the good of another human being, that does not mean that you're not intelligent. That says so many positive things about you, and it actually just shows what kind of energy vampires and monsters are out here that we're going to stay far away from. But moving forward, look at those red flags, look at those orange flags, look at those pink flags, and ask yourself, every time in the past when one of these transgressions were made, did it not just lead to darker red flags? Did it not just end up in more of these disasters and more of these situations that you didn't want? In the situationship solidifying itself even more deeply? So take this with you, my gorgeous soul. You have officially learned the steps to getting over this situationship, and you're over it. You've already taken the biggest step, which is confronting the situation and knowing what to do next. But remember, situationships, they thrive on ambiguity, and you don't have to accept that moving forward. When something is not providing you clarity, stability, and a sense of security, know that it's not for you and that you deserve better. I'm sending you so much love right here from Zurich, Switzerland, and I can't wait to connect with you during an upcoming piece of content. Many of you actually are not subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to never miss another uplifting, manifestation, motivational, beautiful, to never miss another session together, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye, guys.